Well, everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we just recently got the Samsung Galaxy S20 and a lot of people are going to be getting their hands on it. So I figured out I might as well tell you the first couple of things to do as soon as you get a Galaxy S20. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, if you watched me before, I did the same video for the iPhone 10 back in the day when that thing came out. And I think I've done it for like several other iPhones and phones as well since then. And it's funny because I totally forgot to do them for like these phones and like the newer ones just because I go straight into the comparisons. And with the S20, it's a pretty big jump coming from an S10 and all these other phones. And honestly, there's a lot of cool little software improvements from One UI 2 that I've already talked about in several other videos, but I'll show you on the Samsung Galaxy S20 as well. And this is the S20 variant, this is not the Ultra or Plus, but these things will probably work for the other ones as well. Now the first thing I would recommend you to do is that as soon as you pick up your Samsung Galaxy S20, go over to your settings app, scroll down until you see display, and then turn on dark mode, which is right up top. You just want to click that, and that's literally going to be probably the most important thing ever. And it's one of my favorite things and one of my favorite additions from One UI 2. So as you can see, this is a light mode or whatever mode, and this is the dark mode, and look how much of a change that has. Now the reason this is super important is because this pretty much takes all your OLED pixels and turns them dark. So basically all those white things before will not be dark. Even if you go to the App Store, these things will all be dark. For some reason, my apps will not install for some reason. I don't get it. But everything becomes dark, and this is well, not only is this cool to look at and much more better for that, but it also benefits the screen. There's going to be less burn-in overall while you're owning your Galaxy S20. These OLED devices do have a lot of burn-in on them. Usually whenever I buy a S9 or S8, they have tons of burn-in, and this will mitigate a majority of it, but also it extends the battery life. Every time you have a dark pixel on your screen, that actually keeps it so that part of the screen basically isn't on. So this will actually benefit the screen and the longevity of it. So turning on dark mode is really important. The other thing that I would recommend you to do is while you're in your settings, and this is another addition with Android 10 and with One UI 2, is gestures. So as you can see, I don't have that nav bar at the button. If you're familiar with iPhones and everything, as you can see with iPhones, we just swipe up and we can get everywhere with it. We don't have a nav bar, we don't have a home button, we just kind of just swipe up and go about our way. And now with the S20 and also the S10 and S9 series, we have that capability. So what you want to do is you want to go into your settings app, you want to scroll down into display, and while you're in here you want to scroll down until you see navigation bar. Now it's usually okay right there. And when you're here, you'll probably already be on this one, the navigation bar. What you want to do is you want to click down and you want to scroll down into full screen gestures. Now this will make it so the whole nav bar goes away and you can just use your gestures, as you usually would. And then while you're here, you want to turn off this. So this will probably already be on gesture hints. It just keeps that little bar at the bottom. If you want it, you can keep it. Me, I like having it off so I can have that extra real estate. And it really makes it so the whole screen is immersed and you have really the whole entire screen to mess with. Before, and I'll be honest, with a lot of Galaxy S8s and Galaxy S9s that I've bought, the screen usually has that nav bar burn-in on it, which really does suck. That's one of the most common things I've seen. And with this, that'll actually go away. And also, if your screen has less burn-in on it, the resale value will actually go up. So that's a hugely important one right there. Also, while you're at it, go into your settings. A lot of these things are within settings, and the brand new feature with Samsung Galaxy S20 is that 120Hz refresh rate, which is one of my favorite things ever. Now, this will take a hit on your battery, but it's still one thing that if you at least try it, you'll probably get used to it, and you'll probably get used to the battery life in the beginning with, or you can always turn it off, but it's at least cool to try out first, you know what I mean? So you want to go into your display, you want to scroll down into motion smoothness, which is right there, and usually you'll already be at 60 Hz, okay? So I was at 60 Hz as soon as I booted up my phone, if you watched my unboxing yesterday, and I was surprised to see that even 60 Hz was pretty smooth. But what you want to do is you want to go up and you want to click high refresh rate. And then once you're there, you just click apply and the phone will do its thing. And then pretty much when it reboots or when it resprings, you'll see that it'll be extremely smooth. Now, I can't really demonstrate this over the camera because these videos are from the 30 frames per second, so you're not even going to see it. But once you boot it up, you'll just see how smooth the screen is. It doesn't make the phone any faster, but it makes the phone feel faster, if that makes any sense, just because that display is getting refreshed so fast. And that's one of the more important things right there, and one of my favorite things about the Samsung Galaxy S20. The other thing that actually kind of goes hand in hand with this is that as soon as you get your Samsung Galaxy S20, as soon as you pick it up, you want to go down to your settings app, you want to go into software updates, and you want to download the latest update for your phone. So you just want to click download and install, and as you can see, I already have an update. Now I'm not going to do it now, I'll do it later. but this will actually bring a ton of more features into your device. And usually when you get a Samsung Galaxy S20 or usually any phone, it's usually on the first version of its software, and it usually has a lot of bugs and things like that. So this will actually help you so you can actually have a less buggy version of the first version of your phone, because it's going to have a lot of bugs as soon as you pick it up, but this will help mitigate a lot of those issues and bugs that you might have. So you want to go into your settings and update your phone immediately so you're on the latest version of whatever you're on. And the reason this actually kind of goes in hand with that motion smoothness is because an update is supposed to be coming out to allow you to do 120 Hz refresh rate on 1440p. Right now it's only at 1080p, and even this is not bad. Like, I'll be honest, this 1080p display is actually really good. But basically, if you go up to that next level, you will have that capability of doing 1440p, which is going to be really cool. Now, while we're here, another amazing thing you need to do as soon as you pick this phone up is you need to change the Bixby button into something else. Now, the Bixby button, as you know, is the side button, which is the power button, but Samsung makes it so every time you hold it down or you press it, it pretty much goes into Bixby, and I don't really like that. So you want to go into your settings, and once you're here, you want to scroll down, and you just want to click side key, which is right up top. And then once you're here, you can designate this side key right here, which is the power button, but it's not really the power button. You can mess with that, so if you hold it down, you can go into the power menu or anything like that. So what I did was when I press and hold, it takes me straight to the power off menu. Now, I hold it down now, instead of getting into Bixby, it'll get me into the power menu, so it actually acts as like a power button. Before you had, I think, hold down 2 buttons and it'll go from there, or hold down the volume down button and the power button, and that was just kind of awkward. It's kind of unnecessary. Now you can just hold it down without having to press the Bixby button every time. And while you're here, if you double press the Bixby button, instead of going into Bixby or launching into the camera, if you click open app up here, you can actually enable that so it'll go into a specific app. So let's say if I wanted to go into settings, for example, I don't even know if settings is on here. As you can see, it is on here. I'll go ahead and click settings, and so every time I double click the power button, it'll take me straight into settings, which I was already in. But that'll actually just help better the experience overall, which is something I really like. And while you're here into advanced features, you can actually turn off Bixby routines, which is right there. Now I turn this off because I don't really use Bixby, and if you're somebody who uses it, you can keep it on, but it's just one of those things that I'll turn off just to kind of save battery overall. Another thing is turning off this game launcher thing. I never liked it. I don't know why they do this, but some people might like it, so you can keep it on. But me personally, I don't. So I go ahead and turn these things off just because it just saves a little bit of battery and it's just a little bit less annoyance whenever I load up an app. Another thing you should definitely do is turn on the fingerprint sensor onto your device. Now, it has an inbuilt fingerprint sensor on the display. So what you want to do is you want to go into your biometrics and security. You want to click fingerprints right there, and I'll go ahead and walk you through this setup. Now, you can go ahead and type in your password or whatever, or type in a password to remember. Now, I'm not going to do it now because this is my phone that I'm just going to use for comparisons and stuff, but you should definitely go and set up your fingerprint sensor. It keeps the device much more secure, and this fingerprint sensor, I think, in my opinion, has gotten a little bit better. I have tested it before, but then I took it off just because I hate doing it every single time I boot on my device. But I believe going from my S10 to the S20, it has gotten a little bit faster. Not crazy, but it's just a little bit. Maybe it's like a placebo effect, but I would definitely recommend doing that. Another thing you should definitely do is turning on wireless power share. So if you go into your settings app and you scroll down to device care, you'll see a bunch of different information, which is actually really cool. And I like Samsung's little UI of this. I hope Apple will bring something like this too. But you can see you have that battery option. Once you go into your battery, you'll see that you have several different options here. And one of them will be wireless power share. So if you don't know what this is, it basically allows you to wirelessly charge other cheap wirelessly charging devices, such as an iPhone XR or any device like that, iPhone 11, Galaxy series watches. And this will allow you to actually go and charge those things. And as you can see, I have it turned off, but what you want to do is you just want to enable it, and once it's enabled, it'll go ahead and work. Now, it does suck up a little bit of battery, especially if you charge a device, it's going to suck up even more battery. So let's go and hop out and let's go ahead and see if this thing actually works, which it's going to. And as you can see, it is charging, and that's a really cool thing. And if I were you, I would 100% recommend doing it, especially if you have a Samsung Galaxy Watch or any device that you constantly bring with you. Even if you have 2 devices, I would recommend turning it on. So that's a really cool thing. Now, in this camera app, you might know that we actually are able to shoot 4K videos, which is very cool. But you can shoot 8K, sorry, not 4K. Everyone shoot 4K. We can now shoot 8K videos. Now, for a majority of people, I think that's overkill. So what I would recommend you to do is go into your settings app and then scroll down until you see rear video size, which is right there. Now, honestly, I would recommend messing around with 8K footage. So you turn this on to 8K, which is the top button, and kind of go from there. See whether you like it or not and see if it's something you want to keep. Also take note of that memory size that it takes because it takes up a ton of memory. It's not an end all be all, but that is something to do. However, what I would recommend you to do is keep that resolution at 1080p if you need it, or even 1080p at 60 frames. I think a majority of people are going to be good at 1080p. If you get your phone set at 8K, especially if you're getting a used phone, maybe the person before you used it, I recommend turning that down to 1080p. 8K is such overkill and you really don't need it. 4K is still great, it's awesome. I shoot all my videos in 1080p, for example, so I think 1080p is going to be good to go for a lot of people. Another thing within settings is actually turning on the blue light functionality with it. So if you go into settings and if you go into display right there, one of the selections, if you see right here, is blue light filter. What this basically allows you to do is that, it just kind of warms the phone overall, and I actually like it. It kind of reminds me of True Tone. You can just schedule it on, or you can turn it on now, which if I do, and you can see that it kind of warmed the display a little bit. You can change the opacity of it, whether you want it more warm or not, and this is just basically better for your eye health. If you use your phone constantly, something like this can actually enable you to actually just help your eye health overall. So it's not an end-all be-all. Your eyes are still going to probably get messed up, but it is one of those things that'll probably help you a little bit. Now to end it off, let's go and talk about the Edge panel, which is right up here, and for some reason I can never get it open. Now what this does is that actually allows you to access these specific apps anywhere you're at ever. So let's say you want to go into your Chrome, you can access that from here. So if you go into your Edge panel, you can also edit and add different apps as well. So if you click edit, this has been a setting for a very long time on these phones. You can use all these different apps for this specific thing. As you can see, I already hopped out of it. If I click here, and another cool that this app allows you to do with the Edge panel is once you set up an app, is it allows you to actually see that in a pop-up view. So let's say if I wanted YouTube right here, it'll go ahead and put YouTube in a different thing. And if I want to, I can go and set it for a multitasking view and all of that. And that's a really cool thing about Edge panel. So I'd recommend you guys to mess with it. And honestly, those are pretty much my first 10 or 11 or 12 things to do as soon as you get a Samsung Galaxy S20. This video ended up being way longer than I thought. But this seems to be like a tremendous phone so far. I like it a lot right now that I've owned it. And I guess we're just going to do the comparison and see what happens. But if you guys have any questions or you have any more tips and tricks or whatever, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.